Okay. Finishing up section 4.2, we have two kind of special cases of finding the slope when given an equation. Our first example is find the slope of the equation y minus 2 equals 0. Well, again, we can approach it like we did the last two problems. We don't really know until we get y set equal, or y by itself. Solve the equation for y. So we can start this equation in front of us, trying to get y by itself. We'd need to move this 2 to get rid of that. We'd have to add a 2 to both sides. The 2's will cancel out, leaving us just the y. 0 plus 2 gives you 2. Now at this point, you may notice there is no x term in the equation. Because you don't see the x term in the equation, it's as if the coefficient of that x term is 0. It's like having a plus 0x added to the end of this equation, which means our slope is then 0, because our slope is always whatever number is attached to x when we have an equation solved for y. However, if you remember back to what kind of line y equals 2 would be, remember a line that is of the form y equals a number is only going to cross the y-axis, which means it is going to be a horizontal line. So, because this is going to be a horizontal line, we can go back to the first part of section 4.2 notes we just completed. Remember that slope house I gave you? A horizontal line always has a slope of 0. Okay. So, any horizontal line, slope is 0. There's our slope. Now that's different than when you have an undefined slope, which is what we're going to end up with in this next example. This next example doesn't even have a y in the equation, but we still want to solve the equation for x. Okay? To do that, we'd subtract 1 from both sides to cancel out that 1 there. One minus the 1 gives us 0. It cancels it out, and we're left with x equals negative 1 minus 1 is negative 2. And now we have an equation x equals negative 2. This, you have to remember that that is a vertical line. There's really no other way of approaching it to find the slope. You have to remember any equation of the form x equals some number is a vertical line. And with a vertical line, again, if you call back to our slope house from the start of section 4.2 notes, a vertical line straight up and down is going to have a slope that's undefined. That's different than saying a slope of 0. So this last example, the slope is undefined. And we'll pick up in the next video with section 4.3.